Hi, this is post-recording Max. We just plugged our SD card into the computer that we used to edit, and we just realized that our audio corrupted the entire time while we were recording. So we used our phone audio because the rest of it sounded like this.
Hello and welcome back to the EastSprtRprt, your father-son coach player podcast about the Sacramento Kings and San Francisco 49ers. I'm your host, Max Eastman, joined here once again by Steven Eastman. Hello, Max. How you doing today? I'm doing good. It's been a good week.
Not very good, so I'm sorry if it sounds bad throughout this. I'm also sick when I recorded this. I know I say it like 30 minutes into the podcast, so I'm saying it now. Yeah, okay, bye. Hey, I was the only one that got the Commanders right. Literally anyone I've talked to. No one believed in the Commanders except for me. Like, I don't know.
How would you even think about that?
I don't know.
For the win!
Hello and welcome back to the EastSprtRprt, your father-son coach player podcast about the Sacramento Kings and San Francisco 49ers. I'm your host, Max Eastman, joined here once again by Steven Eastman.
Hello, Max. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's been a good week. I won a soccer game on Thursday.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
We're recording this on
Friday. This on Friday.
Yes, as we both say that.
Mm-hmm. Having a good week.
Do we have to see whoever scores goals get to? If it's a win,
yes,
we shout out who scored.
Yes,
on your team.
Yes.
So, you want me to say the names?
I can say the names.
Go ahead. You can.
So
say this
once
time.
again, Brendan Hooper and Jason. I forget what his last name is, but Jason scored goals. But this time, there were 2 times that I personally had a chance to score a goal. I missed on both of them. That's not the point here.
But he had 2 shots on goal.
But I had 2 shots on goal. One of them, the goalie fell down and I kicked it right to him in the stomach. And then he caught it. The other time, I was wide open and I just kicked it to the left of the goal instead of kicking it where the goal is. But I would have had a goal both times if I actually kicked it properly. The most important thing to me is that I was in the right place at the right time.
Yes.
So I'm going to take that.
Yes, he is. Good job. You were in the right place at the right time. Mm-hmm. Okay. Here on EastSprtRprt, I know we record these and then we get them out usually a day later. But 10 minutes before we started recording this, there is breaking news! Okay, breaking news. The Minnesota Timberwolves are trading Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo.
Oh, hey, I know one of those people. They played on the Kings before.
That's your comment?
I don't. Okay, I think this is a good move for the. I think this is a good move for the Knicks. Like, the Timberwolves made it to the Western Conference Finals last year, and now they're trading one of their best players to the Knicks. I feel like there's going to be more trade details, like draft picks that are going to come out while we're recording this or tomorrow. But as of now, this seems like a really big win for the Knicks. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't really care about either team that much.
Yeah, I mean, the Knicks have had a great offseason, which we haven't talked too much because we're Kings and Niners. But, I mean, just briefly, Kings, Niners, yeah, there we are. The Knicks got Mikal Bridges, so they now have Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Cat and OG Anunoby. Like, that is a great team in the East.
They're title contenders now.
Probably second in the West. I mean,
East.
They're second in the East. I mean, you got Boston, of course, but we'll get into that later. But that's really good news.
We're going to talk about that when the NBA season actually comes up instead of week 4 of the and when the NBA season actually comes up.
Yes. But after the breaking news,
yes,
Monday is Kings Media Day.
Cool.
Which means it's the start of the season, and you start getting news coming out of the Kings every day from the local reporters.
The important thing is that Trey Lyles is out for the first.
That's important.
3 weeks?
Yeah, is that
3 weeks of training camp.
Yeah, that was announced today too. Mm-hmm.
And as we know before, Kevin Huerter is limited for training camp minutes.
Yes, I don't think he's not available to do on-court activities.
He can shoot.
Well, he can't do with other players. He's on. He can shoot, do other things, but he can't do that yet.
Yeah.
So with actual scrimmages and stuff. So, but this is not during the season.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's good to get it out of the way.
Yeah, it's not a good way to start the season though. So anyway, Trey Lyles is out. Karl Anthony Towns is going to New York. Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo are going to Minnesota.
And the 49ers lost to the LA Rams.
And that's your NBA news. Now to the bad news for the week.
Okay.
What's your first?
I don't think this game is as big of a deal. It sucks a lot though to watch it happen, but it's not a big deal for me because of the good things that we saw out of it. There were a lot of bad stuff, especially on the defensive side. Like their secondary was not good. It needs to be a lot better.
Yeah, we'll get into more of that later. But yeah.
But Juwan Jennings.
Oh, monster game.
Monster game. Really close to tying Jerry Rice with having 4 touchdowns in a game.
Yeah, so he had 3, almost 4. If he had a 4, we would have won the game, but whatever. We had 3.
That's not the point.
And he had 11 catches out of 12 attempts, or 12 targets. So, yeah, that's doing good. Monster game. Brock Purdy also had a really good game. He only had missed 8 passes, and 6 of them were drops. So when 6 of them are drops, that means 2 of them, I think 1 of them was a throwaway. So you're like, yeah. Ronnie Bell had 3 drops, and Ayuk, I think, had 2. So Ayuk is still not in. Ayuk is not out of his contract situation where he's, he's not ready for the regular season yet.
Hey, Ayuk, again, you're on my fantasy team. Pick it up, buddy. I need you to help me win games. I have Debo on the other one, but he's injured right now, so I need you to step it up. Also, the Niners need you to step it up so we can actually win.
Ayuk news. Did you hear what happened in practice today with Ayuk?
No.
Okay, so something happened. All I know is he got in an argument with somebody about wearing the wrong shorts to practice. I have no idea what that is. All I read was, I'm like, what?
Shorts?
He wore the wrong, they don't wear game day pants. So he was wearing shorts to practice. You could wear I didn't know there was such a thing as a wrong shorts to practice.
Okay. There's a difference between like really good shorts and like kind of bad shorts. The wrong shorts?
Yeah. And
why are you so mad about it?
I briefly saw it was Kyle Shanahan talking about it, so I'm like, I don't know if like Kyle Shanahan's just mad at him and he's taking out on the shorts, or was there really a shorts thing? Maybe we'll find out later, but that was odd. So anyway, moving on. That was weird.
Moving on. Weird stuff.
You want to talk about Niners? You want to talk about the game or the injuries out of the game? Want to go back to the game first?
One of the most important things to me, also with the game and throughout the season, is Javon Hargrave getting injured, tearing his tricep, which means he's probably out for the rest of the season unless we get really far in the postseason.
Yeah, who knows? No idea. Yeah.
But if he played the entire game with half of it being a torn tricep, which you could see the time. I think you can see the time where he tore his tricep. I just hit your phone stand.
Okay.
I think it's
your camera. Max messed up my camera. Is he gonna edit this out?
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
Not a single second of it.
Okay.
What was I saying? Yes, Javon Hargrave. You can feel a certain point where the defense started playing worse. And I think that's because Javon Hargrave got injured, which means there was less pressure on Matthew Stafford to make throws. Which means he can make the open throws that were there instead of having to force things. Because Nick Bosa is going to get there, Fred Warner is going to do his stuff, and Charvarius Ward is going to do good. But you need other people like Javon Hargrave to step up to make it easier on the rest of the defense. Our replacement for Greenlaw's not doing great. Our other cornerbacks aren't doing great. Hey, what was it? Hufunka's finally back in, which was good to see. He didn't play great, but then again, his first game from injury. So
in some ways, if you don't notice the safety, that's better than what we had the week before when the safeties got beat by Justin Jefferson. Yeah. So I would take you didn't notice him better than he got beat. So, yes, you should. I think there was 1 or 2 Hufanga hits where you're like, okay, he's been waiting to hit somebody for a while.
Yeah.
But other than that, you didn't notice him, which is not a bad thing. Because, like, whenever you had Deshaun Gibson on the team, he was like an older veteran. Old as he was 31 or something like that. But the last 2 years, and you didn't notice him, which was not a bad thing because, like, that means he's keeping his coverage and you hardly ever see him type of thing. But anyway, so, yeah, Hufanga usually pops, but he didn't. But he's doing good. So I want to go back to. So I put. We do my keys to the game this week. We actually put up on Twitter. So if you're listening here, go follow Eastman Sport Report on Twitter. Yes, we are calling it Twitter. If you go find us on Twitter, Eastman Sport Report, we'll put out my keys to the game. Sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 3, whatever I can think is most important.
Yeah.
So my 2 keys to the game was, number 1, who's going to step up on offense?
Juwan Jennings.
That was easy. And I even listed out some of the things, and Jennings was number 1. So, like, okay, cool, awesome. They hit that one, awesome. Who's going to step on offense? Jennings did. 3rd and 1 did a great job. He was not just 3rd and 1. He was all down 3rd and 1. So, anyway, the next one was, you remember what my second key was?
Who's going to win the line? Whether offensive and defensive, how are the Niners going to play the line?
Yeah, dominate the defensive, or dominate the lines, because when the Niners are on offense, their defensive line is missing Aaron Donalds and some other young players. So like I wasn't really scared of their defensive line, and their offensive line had 3 new players in it. Some were rookies, some were backups. Yeah. So like our defensive line should dominate, and I don't think we dominated either one of them. Like our offensive line was okay.
Like the rest of the game, at the start of the game, we were dominating them.
Yes,
and that's.
We got a 14-0.
Yeah, and then when Javon Hargrave got injured again, he was still playing, but he was not playing good because he had a torn tricep.
Yeah, hard to push. Yeah.
So having basically a man who can't play out on the field made it so much harder for the rest of the team to actually play defense.
So if you go to the defense side, if we stick to the defensive side here, I took some notes on that. We'll come back to the offensive stuff. Where's my notes in here? Okay, so on defense, the Niners opened the game on a 5-man defensive line, which is kind of interesting. I always looking at these, as a coaching perspective, looking at what's the formations. They did use this 5-man defensive line a couple times. The interesting thing, they put their best run stuffer, Elliott, out there as their 5th lineman. Well, Elliott got injured this week during practice, but he's probable to start. He's probably the starter replacing Hargrave, so he's important. So may not do 5-man defensive lines. The 5-man defensive line was not that effective. They did use it a couple times during the game, and it wasn't that great. So may not use it too much, but who knows? Maybe it's just use it differently, just to show something different to the offense. So they did. That was interesting. The other thing was the Niners in the offseason when Greenlaw was injured, they brought in Devondre Campbell.
Yes.
Well, he was not their first choice. Eric Kendricks was. We'll come back to that. Anyway, Campbell, was an All-Pro, so you're like, okay, maybe his form can come back. Well, he's not doing very good, and D. Winters has been injured, so he was finally playing this week, and so they were starting to work him in, which he's one of our fastest linebackers. So they brought him in kind of obvious passing downs when Campbell would be, in coverage. Well, then he aggravated I think it was an ankle, and Winters had to go out. And then later in the game, what did they do against Campbell? They just picked on him like crazy. So we missed Winters. The other thing is, like, if you look at the linebacker play, a lot of people have been thinking about would they bring in Curtis Robinson, who had a really good preseason. Why wouldn't they let him play? And then he got hurt during practice this week too. So I hope Winters come back, or Curtis Robinson gets healthy, because Campbell is a weak link out there. Let's just put it that way. That's a nice way to put it. And Campbell was covering Williams on the running back's 15-yard catch and run for this first touchdown of the game, right before halftime. Campbell was also flagged for the pass interference play at the end of the game that set up Josh Carty's game-winning field goal. Now, there was other defensive penalties, but Campbell's was the one that was the farthest that got him in field goal range. The other defensive problem is in preseason and training camp, we kept hearing about the Niners' defensive backs are like, hey, this is the best defensive backs we've got. Like, we had Yidam and Rocky and Sin, and and Green was our 2nd-round draft pick. Hey, we got all these good players. Beyond Lenore and Ward, our starters, we have good other backs. Well, Yidam is not doing it in the regular season. He continues to be picked on. The Rams were 5 for 5 for 52 yards when targeting Yidam. Opposing quarterbacks have a 131 passer rating against him.
That's not very good for a defensive player.
Yes. Now, if you want to hear very good,
look at Fred Warner.
Yeah, look at Fred Warner. So out of 58, you want to say something else?
Perspective for a good or average QBR rating. An average QBR rating for an NFL quarterback is about 100 for a game. If you're
usually kind of above below 100 is the line.
above below 100,
Maybe about
if you
90,
have a bad game but you still win, it's like 80 to 90, and if you have, and like anything below 70 is really bad.
Yeah, and
anyway,
yeah. And they say Brock Purdy, who has done he has I think the most games with above 120.
Yeah.
Since he started, he was starting in 2022. So
anyway,
so 131
is really bad if you're defensive. Anyway, with that being said, who's really good at people being bad against him is Fred Warner with a QBR throwing to him with 14. 1-4.
Yes.
14.
14. He's number 1 out of 58 qualifying linebackers in the league. The second place, do you remember what I tell you what the second place person who gets that rating was? Passer rating? So what was Fred Warner again?
14.
Second place is a score of 50.
That's a 40-point difference between first.
That's 36 if you can do your math.
I'm rounding.
Okay. Sorry. So that's a huge gap. The other I think we talked about, I mentioned Eric Kendricks earlier. So Eric Kendricks is who the Niners wanted to replace Greg Greenlaw with. He's number 5 out of the 58 qualifying linebackers with a passer rating of 66.3 with him. Would you like to hear where Devondre Campbell is?
I remember this one, actually.
Where?
54.
Close. No. A little higher.
44.
43. 43.
It's a big difference.
Yeah. So Devondre Campbell is 43 out of 58. Eric Kendricks is who we wanted, and he's number 5, and Fred Warner's our best. So either that means Fred Warner's really awesome, which he is, and they're picking on Devondre Campbell. So our defense needs some help. We have, our quarterbacks, Yidam is getting picked on. We have Campbell is getting picked on. We have Hargrave injured and out for most likely the rest of the season. You're bringing in Elliott, who sprained his ankle during practice this week.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
I think part of the blame for how bad our defense is playing is Brandon Staley.
I wonder how much he's making a difference.
Because if you look at the Chargers defense whenever he was there, it wasn't good. You don't hire the person whose defense got scored 63 points on by the Las Vegas Raiders.
But he was known as a defensive coach.
That doesn't mean
in his previous spot.
That doesn't mean he's a good defensive coach.
Well, he was before. So, yes. I mean, he's not the defensive coordinator, but I wonder how much he's doing. So I'm very curious to see how. Now, the other thing I do have to say is when DeMeco Ryans was a first-year defensive coordinator, the first 8 games of that season, he was not very good. The defense was not very good. In the second half, he started to get his stride going. So, at least it's only game 3.
It's only that's I feel like that's the motto for the Niners right now. It's only game 3.
It's only 2 losses.
You have you have 15 more weeks to go, including bye week.
14 games.
You have 14 more games.
Yes.
If you win out all of those, you're the number 1 seed.
It's still possible. So it's not over yet. If we jump over to the offense, we talked about winning in the trenches. That was my number 2 key of the game. Quarterback pressures. The Rams were one of the worst at getting pressures. Quarterback pressures given up. Colt McKivitz. He gave up 5 in the game. Colt McKivitz now had a team high 5. He's now tied with the Tennessee Titans' Nicholas Petit-Frere, if I'm saying his name right, for the most pressures allowed by an offensive tackle through 3 games with 13. So he's allowed 13 in 3 games. 5 in that game.
Bad. Not.
Yeah, so if you go down to who's giving it pressures in the Rams game, McKivitz gave up 5. Brendel, our center, gave up 3. Trent Williams this is another holdout problem. Please get people in camp next year. Okay. Williams gave up 3. Trent Williams hardly ever gives up pressures. He probably had 3 in a month last year.
He had 0 the first week.
Well, yeah, and he gave up 3 this week, and he gave up a couple sacks last week. So Banks had 2. Pooney, our rookie, had 2. And our tight end, Sauer, gave up 1. But our rookie is doing the best? It's sad for our offensive line. And then there was some situations where offensive line did pretty good. Because there was 2 plays that Brock Purdy held the ball for 10 seconds. And he was running around trying to find somebody to do something with it. So that was interesting. So Anything else in the defense or offensive line?
I got nothing.
Okay. A few other highlights from the game. It doesn't really mean anything. I don't know if this is highlights. A few other notes from the game. The Niners, for the third time this season, have won the time of possession battle.
And lost the game twice now.
Yeah. With that, they have more plays than their opponent. Brock Purdy is number 2 in passing yards with 842.
Okay.
And he did have 6 drops in the game, which could have, they counted up and they could be like 42 extra yards. So if a couple of them went, he would actually be in first place. Would you like to know? So 842 is him. The first place is 851 yards. So he's 9 yards behind first place. Do you know who first place is? Would you like to guess?
I remember, I think it's the first 2 weeks it was Gardner Minshew.
Okay, it's not Gardner Minshew now. After
I don't
3
know.
weeks. It's Dak Prescott.
That does make sense.
So, yes, Dak Prescott.
Is that because he played last Thursday?
No, this was before that.
Okay.
This has nothing
Makes
to do with
sense.
that. So this was after 3 weeks.
Oh, also, before we get into predictions, it is Friday, so Thursday was yesterday. We both talked about this. We have a full list that we do before any games happen. We did both pick the Cowboys because it's the Cowboys and they're playing the Giants.
Yes.
That is 18 wins in a row against the Giants that the Cowboys have. That is 9 seasons where they have not lost to the Giants.
Hey, I'm going to go back to the Rams game.
Anyway, back to that.
Back to that. We'll get to our picks in a second here. There's a few more notes I have on the Niners game. You were talking about how when Hargrave got hurt, our defense really started to, after the first quarter and about midway through the second quarter, we were up, we were up 14-0. Mm-hmm. And then let me read off what the Rams' possessions ended in for the rest of the game. So we had touchdown, which they made it 14-7. Mm-hmm. And then technically the 2 plays at the end of the half, so we're not going to throw that out. So they had touchdown.
Yeah.
First drive of the second quarter, or the third quarter.
Okay.
They actually punted. Okay, nice, cool. And then touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal.
You don't win football games like that.
Yeah, so we were up after we scored a touchdown 21-7. Mm-hmm. Final score, we had 24, one more field goal. They had 27. So they scored 20 to our 3 for the rest of the game. Now, that's our defense can't get off the field. Mm-hmm. And our offense had a missed field goal and a punt. And just, anyway, so, yeah. If I was to say early, I'll probably put it out on Twitter tomorrow or something like that.
Keys of the game.
Keys to the game. I think one of them definitely is going to be defense get off the field on third down. Like, if we can't get off the field on third down, you're going to lose to the Patriots, which you'd better not lose to the Patriots. So, okay, is there anything else you want to talk about that? You want to preview the Patriots game?
We can preview the Patriots game. So, Kittle and Purdy look ready to go, according to
reports.
Yeah. And Samuel is questionable.
Yes, which is better. He actually did get in to do some practice.
He's not doubtful anymore. He's only questionable.
Which they said he was supposed to be about 2 weeks. So only 1 week is...
But if you're playing against the Patriots, do you go, just sit? Or I would say suit up if we need you, but you're not going to start. Does that make sense? If
he suits up, he's going to start.
Okay.
So, if you need Deebo Samuel to beat the Patriots, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But I don't think our offense was that. I mean, our offense just only scored 3 points the rest of the game, like we just set out. Mm-hmm. I think the defense is the bigger concern. Mm-hmm. So anyway, yes. So, and if you look at, if our defense is a concern, the problem is the strong suit for the Patriots is their defense. Mm-hmm. So, like, our strength going against their strength and our, I guess, weakness going against their weakness. Like, Jacoby Brissett is like a decent quarterback. I mean, he's way better than you and me. But that's not saying much.
That's not saying much.
So, like, every NFL quarterback is going to be better than us. And he's, like, probably top 30 in the league, but he's definitely in probably around 25 to 30 of the starters in the league. So, like, and they were getting blown out last week against the Jets. And so he actually, after he was losing by a lot, so they put in Drake May. Mm-hmm. I have heard in some practice reps, normally the starter gets 100% of the practice reps. Mm-hmm. It's 70-30, where Briskett's getting 70.
Yeah.
Drake May's getting 30. So he is getting slowly worked in. So eventually during the season, Drake May's going to come in.
Yeah, like we said before.
Yeah, probably going to happen. But again, they don't have much wide receivers. They do have 2 really good physical running backs. So that, like, normally running backs today are like fast and like somewhat smaller. These are really physical, like 230-pound running backs.
Like run through your face, Derrick Henry kind of.
Yes, and they have 2 of them. And what's been our problem is our run defense. So now maybe if Jordan Elliott's healthy, he's a really good run defender, and you put him next to him like Collins is a really good run defender, maybe that's how the defense has to go, is maybe we don't have as good of a pass rush with Hargrave out, but if you put Elliott in, maybe our run defense is better.
Yeah.
Hoping. So, yes, that's what we need to do. So that's my keys to the game. Oh, the other thing to note for the game is this is the first game of the season out of many where the Niners at a rest disadvantage. As in the Patriots played the previous Thursday, so they have like 3 extra days of rest.
Yes.
But now they do have to fly across country to play the Niners, but they do have extra rest coming into this game. Now, Niners are on just normal week, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But this is the first of many this season where you're coming off of a rest disadvantage against who the Niners play. They have the worst in the league, around 21 days total, or 24 or something like that, rest of days. So this is 3 of them, and this is the first of many. So I think it's most of my notes for this upcoming game. Anything else you want to add about the Patriots?
This is a get back game. Like, I feel like I said this for the Rams, but this is the game that you win, so then you can go out and win your next few games and you get yourself right. Because we have the Patriots and we have the Cardinals and then we have the Seahawks. The Seahawks might be a little bit trouble for us because they are 3-0 right now. But then again, they haven't played a lot of good teams. So,
but they have momentum, and momentum is a lot in the NFL.
So that might be a hard game, but then after those 3 easy, maybe, games, we have the Chiefs. Who are the Chiefs? So that's not going to be a fun experience for anyone involved.
But after the Chiefs game, we get into a lot of tough games. I think we play the Cowboys in there, and so there's some really tough games after that. So we'll get into that later. But it is.
I don't know how good the Cowboys are actually this year, if you think about it.
Yeah, but like
because we play the Chiefs, and then we play the Cowboys after that, and we play the Bucks, who are looking really good, except for they lost to the Broncos. Yeah, and then we play the Seahawks again, and then we play the Packers, and then we play the Bills.
Yeah, so
it's a really tough stretch of games.
So, like, if you really think about it, when you play the Patriots this week and you play the Cardinals next week, like, you better start stacking some wins. And, like, if you want to get in the... Like, it's really hard to say in week 4 this is a must-win.
Yes.
But in some reality, this is a must-win. If you don't win this, it's not like you're out, but, like, it's going to be really hard.
Yeah,
and, like,
I
you
totally
need
agree.
it for momentum. So, okay. That's where we are. Okay, so let's see here. Do you want to do our primetime picks?
Let's do our primetime picks.
Primetime picks with the Eastman Sport Report.
Cool. Okay, starting off.
Let's get our records.
Okay.
Last week.
Yes.
Last week. So Max did good last week. He beat me last week.
Like we said in the opening, I picked the Commanders, which went against everything I said in the season opener of the Bengals being a good team. They don't look like a good team right now. They're 0-3.
And they usually start slow. So, okay.
But
Jaden Daniels looked amazing, I do have to say.
I would like to formally apologize, Jaden Daniels. I did say you would be good. I said you would get injured. I would like to formally apologize. If you do get injured, I was right. However, I am sorry. You are the best rookie quarterback right now.
Yes, he is. So Max got 4-1. I was 3-2. That brings our overall primetime picks. We are both at 8-5 after week 3.
After I had a 1-3 week.
Yes. Okay, so this week we had our Thursday night.
We already said, we picked the Cowboys.
Yep.
Before I canned, because I'm not going to pick the Giants for anything.
Okay, and then our next primetime game is...
before then is the Pats-Niners game.
Okay, you want to do an order that they come to?
I'm trying to do it in order.
Okay, sure.
So
let's go
first we have the Pats-Niners games, which I said last week, I'm going to pick the Niners for every single game, except if it's like the Chiefs game. We'll see how I feel when we get there. But I do pick the Niners to beat the Patriots. I don't think the Patriots are going to be... I think they're going to be better than we thought they were at the beginning of the season, but I think they're a top 10 pick contender this year.
Yes. Okay.
You got anything?
I agree. We've talked a lot about the Patriots. I think the Niners are going to win. I hope it's not close.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do think the Patriots are going to... It's going to be probably a very physical game because that's the way that Jared Mayo as a coach likes to play, and that's what they're doing. So Niners like to be physical. Like, let's go out and do it. So, but I think our offense is going to get in the groove, and our defense, I think, is going to take the challenge of...
By the way, I should say this. I'm currently a little sick, so if my voice sounds raspy, I'm sorry saying this about 30 minutes into the episode, but I am sick.
Okay, well...
So if I sniffle or anything, my bad.
He's on the other side of the table, so I'm not...
Anyway, continue talking.
Okay, so next game. It's Sunday night game, which is probably the best game...
Of the season.
Of this week, definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, one thing I do want to say.
Yes.
Not pertaining to any of the games we're going to talk about, but something that I think is kind of cool. Joe Alt, offensive lineman of the Chargers, his only sack and pressure given up this season is against TJ Watt.
He's pretty good.
And TJ Watt's so understandable, but Joe Alt, he's doing pretty good, and he's injured against the Chiefs, which means that the Chiefs are going to win. So... And the Chiefs are probably going to win anyway. That's not the point here. Anyway.
That's not a primetime
Bills-Ravens game. This
Yes.
is a really tough game to choose.
I know. Bills and Ravens. It is in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are doing really good together. Now, the record-wise, they're not doing amazing, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think they've lost some really close games. Like the first game of the season, they lost on a toe tap. The toe's out of bounds.
Yep.
But in Buffalo is 3-0. Josh Allen is looking really good. I'm going to have you go first, Max. Who are you picking over there? Baltimore?
Well...
Buffalo?
I don't know how much I should be riding the Bills' coattails after beating the Jaguars, because the Jaguars look like they're contenders with the Giants for worst team in the league. But...
Buffalo's looked really good.
Buffalo's been looking really good. Not just in... Well, they beat a banged-up Dolphins team. They beat a really bad Jaguars team, but they've also looked really good. So I personally picked the Bills because of Josh Allen, and their defense is looking solid as well.
Okay, that's good because I'm going the Ravens.
Ooh.
So we are a little different in this. Now, it was a very tough pick. I actually think Buffalo's a better team, but Buffalo's 3-0. I think they're on the road. It's Sunday Night Football. Baltimore is 1-2. They are going to be desperate to get a win. I think Baltimore is going to win the game because they're going to be more desperate than Buffalo to get that.
Yeah.
But again, it's close. It could go either way. I need to go over and write this down so I don't forget. So I am doing the Ravens. We do write this down, people, and come back to it. Mm-hmm. And then Max did the Bills.
I'm going to have to double check that I wrote this correctly on our family picks.
Family picks of the week.
So,
okay.
so it stays consistent.
Yes, we got to
Anyway, time for the
Monday night games.
It is certainly a game of the week.
It's a primetime game.
It is a game of the week. Dolphins Titans, everyone. I don't know who's playing quarterback for the Dolphins, and
I don't think Mike McDaniel knows.
and Will Levis. You have the 1-2 Dolphins, who only win came when their starting quarterback was actually starting, and Will Levis, who has been doing stuff. He's had a meme-worthy... Did a meme-worthy picture every single week.
Sorry if you're on Spotify, you missed that. On YouTube, I was doing the
scoop
and throw an interception that way.
Yeah.
Stupid play. It's like the okay, what was he thinking? Yes.
But this is a trash game because the Titans suck and the Dolphins don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, if you don't know, so Tua Tagovailoa has a concussion,
and then Skylar Thompson got injured last week.
Yeah, so Mike McDaniel doesn't even know who's going to start. We were checking before we make sure we comment. No one knows.
It says uncertain when you look up starting and you go.
Yeah, you look at all the reports.
Okay then.
No one knows. So at least if Mike McDaniel knows, he is not telling anybody. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really matter. I'll go first on this one. Okay. I'm going to go for the unknown quarterback and Miami Dolphins because the Titans at a defense don't know who the quarterback is, and they're going to be shocked at whatever quarterback comes out.
I'm glad you picked the Dolphins. As I'm going to pick the Titans because they're 0-3. They're finally going to get a win. Will Levis isn't a terrible quarterback. He's not a good quarterback either, but he's not a terrible quarterback, so he is going to get some consistency out there. He did beat the Dolphins last season when he.
Whoa, that's
I didn't want to just look away from the microphone.
Sorry, everybody, for that one. Keep going there,
You can't
Max.
smell it. Anyway, I do pick Will Levis to win this game because I'm having fun with it. I don't.
There is a cough button over there. You can hit mute.
It would show on the video.
So?
You
don't hear it?
You would see it.
Okay, fine.
It would look like I was yawning if it wasn't that.
Moving on.
Okay.
Okay, you done with the Titans
I did pick the Titans because I think that's going to be a bad game.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay, last
Seahawks Lions.
Last game of the week.
3-0 team against 2-1, really good 2-1 team. I don't know how good the Seahawks are because they haven't played great teams, but they are 3-0 and their defense is looking really solid. As much as a Niners fan who doesn't like the Seahawks says, they are looking defensive-wise really good. Geno Smith is doing good. DK Metcalf is doing pretty good, and then the Lions are doing pretty good as well. They had a near perfect game against the Bucs and then lost, and I forget who they played last week, but they beat. Oh, they played the Cardinals, and they played really well against them. So, this is going to be a good game in my eyes. This is a test to see if the Seahawks are actually contenders this year. Not Super Bowl contenders, but like I just hit the mic. Playoff contenders.
This is a late night recording. Anyway, keep going here.
Ugh.
Okay. So who are you going with?
I am going with the Lions to win this game.
Okay.
Because I believe more in the Lions, even though I'm gonna say Amon-Ra St. Brown is finally gonna show up to one of the games and play well.
Okay. I agree with you. I'm picking Lions.
Okay.
You did a great breakdown with that. I'm respecting the Seahawks more and more as they play throughout the season. But it's in Detroit. Detroit is a good team, and they're going to win. I think they're going to win. So, okay. There's our primetime picks of the week. Or primetime picks. We don't say. Anyway, primetime picks.
Eastman Sport Report's primetime picks. Anyway.
Okay.
Time for my top 5 teams of the season.
Max's top 5, week 3.
Okay. I just want to say this. If I did do a top 10 this week, the Niners would not be in it.
Okay.
I'm not doing a top 10. But if I did do a top 10, the Niners would not be in it.
Okay.
I'm just saying that.
Would you like to review who your top 5 were last week? I wrote this
Sure.
down. You had number 1 Chiefs.
Yes.
You already wrote down what your top 5 are
Yes.
this week, so you already know who this is. Number 1 Chiefs. Number 2 the Buffalo Bills. Number 3 the Texans. Number 4 the Lions, and number 5 the Saints. Is what you did there. Okay. So what is your top 5 this week?
Number 5, I have the Houston Texans.
Houston Texans.
Texans.
Okay.
I think they're a pretty good team. They lost to a apparently really good Vikings team with Sam Darnold. So, I still think they're a really good team. I respect them, so I'm putting them there.
Texans, number 5.
If it wasn't the Texans, I would either put the Steelers or the Seahawks, but I don't respect them. Besides the Steelers defense, who has been playing really good, and TJ Watt, who is... How do I describe TJ Watt besides saying that he's really good?
Dominant force, game wrecker. That's probably doesn't even do justice how good he's playing.
TJ Watt is TJ Watt.
Yeah.
He's TJ Watt. I don't know how else to describe him. He's TJ Watt.
Plays like a man among boys out there. So
Anyway.
Yes. Okay, number 4.
Number 4, I have the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
The two teams who have actually lost a game in my top 5 are the Detroit Lions. Like I said, they are a really good team. They played almost a perfect game and then lost against the Bucs, who are really good. They're not on the top 5 though.
Okay.
But they are really good.
Okay.
So, my microphone is slowly tilting. I'm gonna leave it there. Okay.
Number 3.
Number 3, I have the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, Sam Darnold.
Who would have thought I'd be saying this?
I thought Sam Darnold would be going to be pretty good.
You didn't think they would be top 3 good?
That's probably true. I did think they were going to be good.
No, you didn't. You thought they were going to be decent.
I thought they were going to be good. But anyway, keep going. I did not think they'd be this good.
You do not think they were going to be 3-0 going into the season? Not necessarily because they played at the Niners.
Yeah.
You didn't think they would be top 3
No,
good?
I did not think they'd be this good.
They destroyed the Texans.
Oh, yeah.
And the only reason why the Texans are still up there is because it's the Vikings who beat them.
Yes.
And if it was anyone else and the Texans lost this bad, I'd... yeah.
Okay.
CJ Stroud, fantasy-wise, he got me 7 points.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team.
I still won that week. So
yeah, and I lost by 5 points, and he only got me 10. Yeah, he lost
thank you, CJ Stroud. Anyway, the Vikings are playing really good. Justin Jefferson is playing really good.
Yes.
Jordan Addison is playing really good. Aaron Jones is playing really good. Their defense is playing really good. I don't know why. Brian Flores is really good.
Well, I mean, Brock Purdy was
apparently you need to make fun of your players for your team to be good. Brian Flores, Tua.
Yeah. Okay, number 2.
Okay, and Sam Darnold playing really good. So, yeah.
Okay.
And okay, number 2, Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh, Chiefs are number 2.
All of their games have not been good.
Chiefs / officials?
No.
Okay, fine. We're not going to get into that.
We're not going to get into that.
Okay.
As much as I could talk about this and that and the penalty that should or shouldn't happen.
They're still in
against
position
the
to
Falcons.
win.
They're still in the position to win,
and they do it.
And yeah, if they were good, if they were really good, they shouldn't be in a position where the refs have to help them. But they are still the Chiefs, and they're still going to be really good. And the Chiefs, it doesn't matter what they do in the regular season because they play in the AFC West with the Chargers and the Broncos and the Raiders, and they just have to make it to the playoffs for them to be scary.
Yes. Okay, your number 1 team for the week.
Buffalo Bills.
Ooh.
Josh Allen doing really good stuff. I don't even remember what their wide receivers' names are.
Yeah, they traded away Stephon Diggs.
James Cook is finally cooking.
Yeah.
What is it? Why am I blanking his name? Von Miller's playing really good. DeMar Hamlin actually is playing good again after coming back to life.
Their wide receivers are Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Curtis Samuel.
Yes.
Oh, and Matt Collins is the other one. Sorry, there's 5 wide receivers there.
Those people.
Yeah. Have you heard of those names before? Besides Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
That's because he played on a different team before.
Yeah.
I forget all of those people.
Anyway.
They're playing really good.
Yes, they are.
Josh Allen's doing really good. James Cook is doing really good. I wish I could talk more, but I'm tired, and I haven't looked up a lot this week because I've been busy.
Yes, so there's Max's top 5.
Do you have anything to say? Do you have a top 5? Would you argue with anyone on this?
I have not looked at it good enough to look at that, so I like you doing that.
Thank you.
I just like to comment on it. So
you don't comment on that. You just let me talk.
Yes, I let you talk in that segment.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else I have in notes? Oh, there was a few other notes that I had brought at the very beginning of the game.
For the Rams-Niners game?
Yeah, Rams-Niners. I'm going way back to the beginning here. My very first note of the week. When the Rams and the Niners rivalry, the meeting that they had last week was their 151st game they played against each other. Mm-hmm. Would you like to guess who is leading in that record?
I'm going to say the Niners.
Yes. They have 78. The Rams have 70. Now, that means there's 3 ties.
Fun.
3 ties.
I was like, wait, 150?
That doesn't count the 150.
Yes.
You add the 3 ties, it does get to 151. Okay. Would you like to guess the years of when the 3 ties are? This is the trivia section of the thing for Max.
When were the Rams bad and when were the Niners bad?
No, it's the ties.
Yes.
The funny thing is the ties.
No, I mean when they were both bad.
Well, when the ties happened, 2 of them happened at a tie of 24-24, and the other one was 20-20. Really close. Anyway, would you like to guess a couple of years?
Okay. Were any of them in the 19s before I existed?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like to? Okay, let's go this way.
Okay, wait, no, hold on. When were they in?
Let's go this way. How many happened while you were born, and how many happened before you were born? Let's just do that.
I'm gonna say 1 happened after I was born, 2 happened before I was born.
Wow, good job.
Okay, so now I have a basis to go on.
Okay.
When did they start playing each other? I'm gonna say 1 happened in 1974. And no, let me just say them all. And then another one happened in 1998.
Okay.
Also, if you hear beeping, that's from my cybernetic enhancements. Sorry. I'm not going to explain that.
It's
about
good.
those. And then there And then the last one after I was born, I'm going to say is 2011.
Wow, so the last one happened in 2012, so that's really close. Good job.
Was I close with any of the other ones?
You were close. One of them was 1968, and you said 74.
That's a
6 off.
That's
It's not that
terrible. That's about that's a good running back career.
close.
Barry Sanders.
The first one happened in 1954. So 2 of them happened before even I was born.
Ow. I wasn't gonna.
There's only been one happened in the time that I've been born. You've been born. That one in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
The other one happened in 1954 and 1968.
Cool. I interesting.
Yes.
I would like to see more ties. They're fun. No, they're not fun. I'd like to see more ties happen to other teams. They're fun.
If you would like to know, the first year that the Niners played the Rams was 1950.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, 1950 is when the rivalry started. Okay, cool. Any last parting thoughts for the week, Max?
You both should and shouldn't be worried about the Niners. They're injured as all heck, but they are still the team that went to the Super Bowl last year. That's my closing thoughts.
Okay. My closing thoughts is I'm looking forward to we get more news out of the Kings and the Kings season starting to ramp up. And yesterday, so Thursday, was the Kings posted. It was Keegan Murray days away from the first preseason game. So 13 days away from the preseason. So it's 12 today. So we're getting close. That would be close to a week and a half from the first preseason game. So getting close to Kings basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to do some other kind of coaching film stuff when Kings basketball come up for our YouTube channel and stuff like that. We'll figure out how to do that. But that's kind of what I'm looking forward to that's my parting thoughts for the week. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thanks everybody for listening to this week.
Thank you for listening to the Eastman Sport Report. Why did I salute? Oh gosh.
And we'll see everybody next time. Thanks everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
I thought the cold open was really good.
If you just stop in the middle of our interview and just run right into the...
Why did you pick that? I don't know.
Exactly.
I just felt like it.
That was the good part of it. I was like, okay, let's play this up. Okay, that was fun. Okay.
Oh, wait.